A Sequim woman and her border collie Berkeley will soon be featured on a National Geographic TV documentary about the search for famed aviator Amelia Earhart. She's believed to have died on a remote Pacific island 80 years ago. Sequim resident Len Angeloro headed up 4 teams of bone-sniffing canine forensic dogs in July, including Berkeley, on an expedition to a remote South Pacific island to aid in the search for traces of any DNA evidence in the hunt for Earhart.
He's been trained to find old bones and teeth, teeth being the holy grail, because they hold DNA really well and for a long time. And it's a very small sample.
Angeloro says the teams were able to identify a spot on Nicumaroro Island, where they say it's possible Earhart may have died underneath a wren tree.
They extracted some pieces of the wren tree roots, as well as a bunch of the soil around the wren tree, and to bring back for analysis.
Amelia Earhart and her navigator Fred Noonan disappeared on July 2, 1937, 80 years ago, somewhere over the Pacific. They were on an epic attempt to fly 29,000 miles around the world. The International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, known as TIGER, hypothesizes that the aviators may have landed on the reef of Nicumaroro Island during low tide. That's a 5-day journey by ship north of Fiji.
An area called the Phoenix Islands Group. It's a protected group of islands that are owned by the Republic of Kiribati. But it's not a very big island. It's 4 miles by 1.5 miles, and that's with the water in the middle. The lagoon's pretty large.
Angelero is vice president of the Institute for Canine Forensics and the project manager for this trip. She says National Geographic partnered with Tiger to send Berkeley and 3 other dog teams to Nicumaroro. She says the key was finding a bone fragment or perhaps a tooth, something with DNA.
They do have descendant DNA for her. They have a niece and they have some other, so they have descendant DNA to check it against. Fred Noonan, they have nothing.
National Geographic writer Rachel Hardigan Shea says the evidence is clear that someone, perhaps Earhart or her navigator Fred Noonan, died beneath that wren tree.
I think we are 85% sure it's her.
The National Geographic documentary about the search for Amelia Earhart and the findings of this summer's search will likely air on the History Channel in the next month or 2.